WhatApp.
WhatApp.
Same stupid joke every time.
Every time, yeah. But this is part two.
Yeah, this is part deux.
On WhatsApp. And a lot of people don't realize this is the largest messaging app in the world. Larger than any other iMessage, any other.
How many just in like India every day? How many was it?
Yeah, I have it right here. I want to make sure. I think it's 450. No, it says right here. In India alone, 459 million people actively use the app daily.
That's crazy.
459 million.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost half of the Indian population.
Yeah.
Which tells me that half of that nation has
WhatsApp. WhatsApp.
Smartphones.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. That's good for us.
Yeah. So we all know there was a lot of backlash the other day when the very polarizing terms and conditions came out from WhatsApp with their change. That if you do not accept this, you frankly can't use the app.
Right.
But they were very unclear about what the data collection actually was and how that was working.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that person's no longer working with WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The terms and privacy policy, which they put out, well, it was kind of startling because I use WhatsApp because we, in our company, we have global employees.
Yes, we do.
So I'm talking through WhatsApp, and when I go on there, all of a sudden it popped up and it said, sign our new data privacy agreement or whatever.
Right.
So, right on the text. And I think it just kind of startled everyone. So then, you get a couple people on Twitter and then they begin to talking about it and then it gains some traction. Next thing you know, you get one man.
And a dude who likes to launch rockets into space.
Yes, Mr. Musk. And he turns around and says, use Signal the same day.
And I've been a proponent for Signal for a while. And then
they're not for profit.
And I wasn't on Twitter. And I'm like, why is Signal crashed? I'm like, because so many people are dumping over onto Signal after he says one word about it.
Yeah.
The Pied Piper comes out and says one word about it.
But
Pied Piper of Hamelin.
Yeah. Telegram, which is another app, a Russian-based app that a lot of people use. In 3 days, they had 25 million signups.
Yeah.
They announced that. Saying
it's funny how people shift.
So I could imagine it was probably even more with Signal. So, WhatsApp had some, Viber. Have you ever heard of Viber?
Viber?
Yeah, Viber. That's another popular. It's probably like third
why does that sound
popular messaging app. They said this. They tweeted this. Viber tweeted this. It's got like a pinkish red.
Yeah. Viber.
Viber.
Yeah, I'm on it. Oh, I see it. Yeah, I know Viber.
I think they use this as a marketing ploy, but they may be a great company. I don't know. Viber cut all its business ties with Facebook last year to protect our users' privacy, providing a secure and private messaging and calling platform that has always been a top priority for us. And this will never change. And then Viber put hashtag privacy matters.
Wait, they're all bashing on Facebook. You chose to do business with them in the first place. You don't act like, hold on a second. Don't act like you got into business with them and didn't know what was going on. Mm-hmm. That's the most foolish thing. After Cambridge Analytica, you should have been like, whoop, hold on a second. Not like last year, 2019.
Yeah, so WhatsApp has 2 billion users, and they've been growing like crazy. And then all of a sudden, this new privacy terms hits, confusion hits, because that's what they said. Everybody had a level of confusion. So this is where you have to make sure your messaging is clear.
Yeah.
And Facebook being so large.
And if it's regarding, why would you be so like opaque when it comes to like security and privacy? That's the one thing you should be clear on. Imagine if you go to debrief, I don't know, a couple of generals.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? And they're like, well, what's the risk profile? Not bad.
Yeah.
So can we go in there? Yeah, you could. Do we send our troops in or do we not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What is the risk?
Yeah, and I think it's this whole attitude of being complacent and being transparent. So these data companies, and you've seen this, and advertising companies and data companies and tech companies, they come with this hierarchy of, we know more than you. You're a user. We're at this level. So they talk down to people.
Yeah, we'll decide what your privacy looks like.
And so when you're ambiguous and you're talking down to people, then it becomes this. And so WhatsApp gate, if you want to call it. Or the Great Exodus.
What gate?
The Great Exodus from WhatsApp. So one guy tweets, and he got a bunch of people. Yeah. He said, there's a lot of misinformation about the WhatsApp ToS right now. The policy update does not affect the privacy of your message with friends or family in any way. The changes are related to messaging a business on WhatsApp, which is optional.
Why is it that you guys had to say that twice?
Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing that gets me. And then WhatsApp makes they come out and they say this. So that like the next, they say no comment, no statement, and then they come out and they make a statement.
I can make a statement right now. I'm so sure about what I'm doing that I can make the statement right now. Own up to the fact that you screwed up. They didn't even own up to that fact. They're like, oh, we just do this. It's like, you screwed up in how you delivered your message.
Yeah, and just tell people that.
Yeah, they'll appreciate it.
Transparent?
Everybody likes it when you're like, oh, thank you for being honest.
Everybody but Sinead O'Connor. She really ruined her career on Saturday Night Live. One thing, I love her music,
dude. I was just watching.
Do you remember what she did on Saturday Night Live?
No, the only ones I watched were the Chris Farley ones.
So she on Saturday Night Live, in the height of her career, she decided to rip a picture up of the Pope, and she's Irish. So you know what being Irish is about, and we have a lot of people from Ireland listen to our show. So that was extremely controversial. But it literally, like, for the rest of her life, she's comes out with songs and stuff still now, and there's nothing. So it was just, there's always these moments, and I think these companies are so afraid of it, especially now with the culture, this cancel culture and everything that's going on now. There's always these moments where you're like, should I do this? Should I not? It's like Elon Musk, but he made fun of it and then recovered when the window broke. In the truck.
Just be lighthearted about it because everyone's all amped up about it. It's supposed to be bulletproof.
and the window just shatters.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we're engineers. We're at the cutting edge. These things are going to happen.
Yeah.
So here's an explanation by WhatsApp.
Is that a Pope cancel culture? I'm looking at the picture right now.
Yeah. But I mean, she was. I mean, we look at it and we're like, oh, but that's a huge issue in Ireland. Catholics and Protestants have been fighting for how long?
They're still fighting?
Yes.
Well, I mean, how long I don't want to get into religious battles.
Yeah, we won't touch that.
How does that go into our big 7? Oh, number 4, global peace.
Yeah, right. Global peace. Let's have global peace. This update includes changes, this is what WhatsApp said. This update includes changes related to messaging and business on WhatsApp, which is optional and provides further transparency about how we collect and use data. We can't see your private messages or hear your calls, and neither can Facebook. See, this person that wrote this statement, this attorney, he the point blank statements like this, neither Facebook, you know how they're like, they're claiming ownership.
Yes.
This guy should have been the first one.
I don't know why they didn't have this guy right in the first place.
Facebook,
bring him back. Actually, give him double the salary.
Yes.
Get the old guy's salary that you fired and double his.
He says this too. Neither WhatsApp nor Facebook can read your messages or hear your calls with your friends, family, and coworkers on WhatsApp. So he said it twice. He made a statement. This is a truthful statement.
Friends, family, coworkers,
and coworkers.
What about my enemies?
Yeah.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
What about my enemies?
I keep them closer.
Yeah.
That's why we're so close.
We're definitely watching that. Yeah.
So it's interesting to me because everybody knows the track record of Facebook and their lack of transparency with data usage.
Yeah,
I mean, you brought up Cambridge, but I think one of the things, the IDFA, which we talked about, which sounds like
the militant group,
that's Apple's coming update. And then what apps are tracking your data and how they're tracking your data. Apple's cracking down on that. Can I give you an Apple conspiracy theory for everyone?
Oh, this is fun. Yeah. Please.
Yeah. My marketing brain is like, oh, okay. So, because Apple's always been about, and you know this with TARTLE, Apple's always been about having a closed ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't. So if you close, so here's my thought process. If they close the ecosystem even harder, and there's no app showing anywhere, and then they turn around and come up with Apple ads.
Yeah, you know what they're doing.
That to me, that would seem like, it's called cornering the market. Yeah. So, I mean, how many companies would love to talk to somebody that's on an Apple phone because they know that they will spend money?
Yeah.
And how much would they pay for Apple ads?
Well, it's because they wasted so much money on the Apple phone anyway.
So if I'm Apple, I would cut everybody off and say, well, you need to go on to my like Google ads. You know, you need to go on there and run ads through my way.
Well, and then your issue with that too is like, how's the monetization going to work for those developers?
Yes.
The reason they make those apps is so they can put ads on them.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do? How does that affect
Well,
them?
that's the whole big deal. You know, I know everybody seems to be really upset about it. Facebook needs to update its permissions of WhatsApp to facilitate its broader messaging integration plan, which is still in progress. So they've admitted, so here's the backside of it. They've admitted that their messaging integration plan with Facebook is still in process because they're still trying to figure out a way to get the WhatsApp people to be able to, and I get it. I mean, if I had...
Does Facebook Messenger analyze your stuff?
Yeah, it probably does.
That's probably the issue. They're like, okay, so now we screwed up with WhatsApp. How do we now combine both of these? And they're like, well, we're making so much money off of Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, so let's get the ads. Let's get the ads on WhatsApp. I mean, you can serve ads on WhatsApp right now.
Yeah.
So they're not worried. Facebook says it's not going to hurt them in the long run. You know, and the rise in popularity of the other apps with Trump, you know, IDFA, Elon Musk, all these people. I don't like to put Trump and Musk in the same sentence, but I had to. But, you know, everybody's with this paranoia. You know, we have this craziness of where we're so divisive. And you mentioned unity, which I love.
There's nothing unifying about what's going on with that.
No.
You know, and I can't.
So
I'm trying to maintain calm this morning. I've been getting so fired up on these episodes.
I know, I did a heavy one.
I know. I'm just trying
to get your blood going.
I'm trying to relax.
Yeah,
have
some coffee.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is from WhatsApp.com's frequently asked questions because they updated it. So let's get into these real quick. The privacy and security of your personal messaging. This is what they're saying. We can't see your personal message or hear calls, and neither can Facebook. Neither WhatsApp nor Facebook can read your message or hear calls with your friends, family, and coworkers on WhatsApp. Whatever you share, it stays between you. This is what Facebook's writing. That's because your personal messages are protected by end-to-end encryption. We will never weaken the security, and we clearly label each chat so you know our commitment, which I showed you that. We opened up WhatsApp. You just showed me
that update this morning, yeah.
Yeah. And then it said, learn more about WhatsApp security here, and you can click on that.
Very good.
Next one was, we don't keep logs of who everyone is messaging or calling. So they're making it more clear. With traditional mobile carriers and operators store this information, which people don't realize that.
This is how the DEA gets hold of all your info, right? They know your IMEI number, MAC addresses, you know, how many IP points that cell phone's touch and which tower it's hitting, and then who owns the account to that cell phone.
And I see... This, like you said, they need to give this guy double salary because I guarantee it's the same person that wrote this. Listen to this part. This is great. We believe that keeping these records for 2 billion users would be both a privacy and security risk, and we don't do it. And we don't do it. Do you see how it's great those statements are?
It's very specific.
Yeah, and I like that they included, because see, this is where I like when a company's honest, because they're saying, for us, privacy for you, but for us, it's a security risk.
I say this
and it's
all the
not
time.
worth keeping the log.
I say this all the time. It's easier for TARTLE never to look at, touch your data, and have you facilitate the management of all of it because it's less of a liability on our end.
I know, but
it's easier for us to just keep it locked down and not have us manipulating or tracking anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not cost effective for them to keep the logs.
It's not cost effective. It lowers our risk and it lowers the risk for the end user.
Yes, tartle.co.
Tartle.co. If you ever heard of it, sign up. I don't know. We're only at 100 and something episode here. So.
We can't see your shared location, and neither can Facebook. So this is interesting. I'm wondering if they're saying that through Facebook or if they're saying only when you're on the WhatsApp app. It's got to be only when you're on the WhatsApp.
State it again.
We can't see your shared location, and neither can Facebook.
Yeah, so because Facebook, what they're saying is because Facebook owns WhatsApp, they're saying, oh, can Facebook see what's going on in this application? No, it seems to be separate.
Because they could say WhatsApp can't see your location, but Facebook does.
Yeah, correct.
But and they say this: when you share your location with someone on WhatsApp, your location is protected by end-to-end encryption, which means no one can see your location except the people you share it with.
Yeah, and the satellite that gave you the location.
When you give us permission, so this is really good too, we access only the phone numbers from your address book to make messaging fast and reliable. And we don't share your contact list with other apps, Facebook offers. Do they share that to Facebook? They didn't say that. The contacts. You see what I'm saying?
With other apps, Facebook offers.
Yes.
You didn't say you don't share it with Facebook, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're trying to pair contacts together.
Yeah,
There are some things that are leaching over.
Yeah. There has to be.
There's some cross-pollination going on.
Groups remain private because you can do like groups, so you could have, all your friends and family and send out a group, like a group text.
Yeah.
We use group membership to deliver message and to protect our service from spam and abuse. We don't share this data with Facebook for ads purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still sharing the group, it says, but that not for ads purposes, they say. Again, these personal chats are end-to-end encrypted, so we can't see their content.
So it's interesting. They must have something well written in their algorithm where they don't need this extra content. They just need the group.
Yeah,
because through that group gives them enough information to pinpoint something else on the back end on Facebook,
right,
where they can still do some sort of delivery.
And we're almost done, but we're going to get to a real important part. Not right now, but here in a little bit.
I'm thinking like a Sinead O'Connor scene. We have her standing there like ripping a WhatsApp picture, just like.
You can set your messages to disappear. For additional privacy, you can choose to set your messages, and I know Snapchat does that too when they disappear. And then this is interesting. You can download your data. You can download and see what information we have on your account right from the app. So we need to make sure TARTLE has WhatsApp.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna link up WhatsApp on TARTLE so that you can sell any part of that data.
So the 429 million users in India can earn some money from.
What about the 2 billion they have?
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to make money using WhatsApp every day? Why don't you start selling some of that data?
So here's the clarification of the business messaging,
Mm-hmm.
because that seems to be the issue.
Yeah.
Every day, millions of people around the world communicate securely with businesses of all sizes on WhatsApp. We want to make this easier and better if you choose to message with businesses. We will always be clear within WhatsApp when you are communicating with any business that uses these features. Because I know there's a lot of global businesses where they're selling, and so they want to talk to their customers. Or they want to send out automated text, through WhatsApp.
And they probably can't guarantee what the business is going to do with that data either.
Yeah, Facebook hosting services. Messaging with businesses is different than messaging with your family or friends.
Tell me more.
Some large businesses need to use hosting services to manage their communication, which is why we're giving businesses the option to use secure hosting services from Facebook to manage WhatsApp chats with their customers, answer questions, and send helpful information like purchase receipts.
Mm-hmm.
But whether you communicate with the business by phone, email, or WhatsApp, it can see what you're saying and may use that information for its own marketing purposes. So they're saying, we see it, but Gmail does, Yahoo does.
So does everything else that they have
Verizon,
hooked up into it? Yeah, correct.
Which may include advertising on Facebook. So they're saying it. To make sure you're informed, we clearly label conversations with businesses that are choosing to use hosting services from Facebook.
There we go.
Discovering a business. You may see an ad on Facebook with a button to message a business using WhatsApp. If you have WhatsApp installed on your phone, you'll have the option to message that business. Facebook may use the way you interact with these ads to personalize the ads you see on Facebook.
Yeah, obviously, they all have that friggin' ad tracking.
And then the last one, payments on WhatsApp, because you can do payments.
This is a big deal. A lot of people use WhatsApp for their payment profiles.
Yeah, and they're sending money back and forth.
And it's very competitive with things like PayPal.
WhatsApp's UPI-enabled payments has a separate privacy policy that governs that you can access here, and that privacy policy is not affected by this update. So, and I clicked on the here and kind of looked at it. It's the same as it's always been. It's pretty private. I mean, they're not going to. It's too much of a risk when you're dealing with money. Yeah. So I love. I personally, and I don't know about you, Alex, I love the statements that they came out with, and I wish that they would have done those in the beginning, and we wouldn't have had the WhatsApp gate.
I love that. Thank you for story time. Sinead O'Connor.